What a nice start to the day. I mean, technology just happened to me 5 years back, in the sense that I've been working in this space, but I do come from, FMCG, FMCD space, so all of this was music to my ears. Let me begin by introducing myself. I am Spandana Dhaduti. I lead the go-to-market for India for Google RCS for Business, and very excited to be sharing with you in the next 10 to 15 minutes about how RCS for Business as a communication channel has grown significantly. There's added excitement to my presentation today because I'm in my home state. I'm from Hubli, not very far off. So very excited to be speaking in my language, and that naturally feels very much at home. So let me give you a little bit of background on what RCS for Business is. Now, RCS stands for Rich Communication Services. If any of you have Android phones, you'll be able to see a message icon which is on my right bottom. So that's the Google Messages app that you'll see on your Android phones. Now that's your native SMS chat box as well, right? What RCS is, it brings richer communication to that channel itself. So there's no need for you to download a new app, nothing for you to do. It's just that chat box, which is your native SMS application, has now been upgraded to receive and send richer communication services. Now, globally, I'm sure like for those of you who watch the Android I/O by Samir, who's our president for Android, kind of spoke about the reachability, right, of this channel. And globally today, we have about 2 billion RCS users. In India, that number about a year back stood at around 350 million, but today as we speak, that number has gone to 520 million. So for all of you who design your communication strategy, for whom reachability perhaps is an issue, that RCS for Business solves for, right? And a quick preview of how that looks like. So like I was saying, your Google Messages inbox also hosts SMS, which in a way used to be very cluttered and very redundant. It has been there since the mid-90s, hasn't really evolved. But we heard our panelists as well. You and I, as users, the way we interact with each other or with businesses has evolved significantly, right? It has become so much more immersive, so much more interactive and richer, and which is why RCS was introduced. So this is a quick sneak peek of how RCS for Business looks like. So there are 3 main takeaways from this slide, right? The first one is the verification tick mark and the trusted logo branding. So up until now, in the SMS native inbox, you always saw shortcode, so you weren't really sure, is it like HDFC 1077? You weren't really sure if it's the right brand reaching out to you, if it's authentic. So the trusted logo and verification tick mark adds an element of reassurance for the user and ability to trust that brand. We don't have the concept of unverified business profiles. All the agents that you see on RCS are verified by 2 entities. One is Google, of course, and the second entity is the carrier. The second one is obviously the ability to add a rich element to your communication, whether it's a rich card, carousel, and I'll speak like a couple of features as I go into my slides. The last one is we have, because of the power that Android brings to the table, because of the power of the Google ecosystem, so you're able to integrate all of these products such as Google Maps, Google Calendar, Google Wallet even, which Deeksha will speak about. With a single tap, you're able to invoke those call to action buttons to be able to build a very seamless journey for your users or consumers. Now, while we have many value propositions of the channel, I want to highlight 2 main ones. One I already spoke about. So you're able to invoke all these good things that Google brings to the table as a whole ecosystem. The second one is, unlike the perception that brands or users, as you and I, decision makers, we have, is that the SMS inbox is not necessarily prevalent in the Indian ecosystem. Not true. So if you look at the engagement rates on RCS, it is about 50%, which means that 1 out of 2 people who receive the message either see it or interact with it. And we have close to about 2,000, 2,500 large enterprises who are already driving a lot of volume, and not just volume from the standpoint of numbers, but also from the standpoint of good marquee use cases, right from one-way messaging to conversational even. Moving ahead, couple of features that, the reason why I'm like taking you through such a tactical presentation is so that once you see how the features look like, that's when you'll really understand what the channel brings to the table. So you obviously have suggested replies, you have suggested actions, you can add an open URL or your app if you're an app-based brand. We also have the capability of video sharing. Video sharing from a P2P standpoint, person-to-person standpoint, it can be two-way. Business to person can also be two-way. Either you share with your customer or your customer also has the ability to share it back. Where is this predominantly working? Take, for example, a KYC verification video file, right? So that's where one of the uses are. Rich card, carousels, these are pretty standard for any rich OTT messaging channel. We also have the ability of PDF sharing, two-way PDF sharing, which makes the transaction much more easier. Comes very handy when it's respect to invoicing, billing, and things like that. This is how the connected journeys on Google look like. So a simple location service is like getting a location service. For example, you want to use your store locator. So you might as well just invoke the Google Maps where your user is able to look at all the nearest stores, right? Simple dialer integration is also possible. Google Wallet, Google Calendar, very handy when it comes to setting reminders and things like that. Very interesting use case feature that we launched just this year, which is WebView. In retail specifically, your 80-85% of all your journeys are hosted somewhere, right? Like there are so many micro journeys that we create on our apps, on our websites. Now with WebView feature in place, you're able to invoke all of that journeys and build an end-to-end journey, right from product discovery to payment even. And have that entirely built out in a single RCS agent without the user having to go out of the agent, right? Making it much more seamless and the experience being very smooth for the user, rather than jumping between experiences. This is a lot to do with how a business can reach out to the user. Now, can your user reach out to you? Again, very, very relevant to retail brands where you're fighting for mind space when the customer walks in and things like that. So a user can initiate a conversation with the business either through a QR code or a deep link URL. The other very interesting use case is customer care is again a very important element in retail, right? And today we have the ability to initiate a customer query, customer care conversation on organic Google search. So when on your Android phone you search brand plus customer care as the long tail keyword, I'm sure you all understand long tail keyword. So you are able to see this chat with the live agent option, right? So when you click on that, that invokes a RBM, RCS for Business agent, which again can speak to your customer on resolving their customer issues or perhaps whatever they need from you as a business, right? So that's a very interesting feature. All in all, my biggest motivation to kind of come here and talk to you is to kind of ensure that your biggest takeaway on RCS should be that we don't want this to be another glorified SMS, right? Wherein use cases are just redundant and at the end of the day it seems more spammy. What RCS can deliver for you is right from product discovery to re-engagement and loyalty. Today, as we speak, we have all of those use cases. Before I hand over to Deeksha, we are at a booth outside. So if you have any further questions for me, I'd be more than happy to take. Thank you. Deeksha, over to you.
Thank you, Spandan. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Deeksha. I'm taking care of product management at Route Mobile Ltd. We've recently been acquired by Proximus Group. And as a part of Proximus Global, the three organizations, that is Route Mobile, we are into the messaging industry, CPaaS industry. Along with us, we have Telesign. Telesign is majorly into digital identity services. And in addition to that, we have BIX, who's a part of, who's getting the global connectivity towards the operator sites. All three of us combined together give the power of Proximus Global. Today I'm here to discuss more from a messaging perspective and some use cases that we've enabled on RCS and how people are leveraging RCS as a channel. Some stats about what we are doing as an RCS partnership. We have all the latest features that Spandan spoke about in terms of RCS capabilities. We'd be able to provide all of that to you. In addition to that, we also have native integrations with CRMs as well, like the WebEngage, MoEngage. We are in discussions with few of them, like CleverTap, Zoho, etc. And some feature functionalities that probably you would love to explore as within the market as well. Now, Spandan already did highlight about search to RCS as a use case. So let's say if you want to solve your customer care journey, and with the brands that we are currently working with, I mean, a lot of brands are looking forward towards solving their customer care journey because the per seat consumption of one person who's taking care at the call center is way higher as compared to the message that you can drop in within the chat inbox. So considering RCS message as your native messaging inbox, if anyone searches for, let's say, the brand name followed by customer care, in this case, maybe you can, if you have an Android device, look for Root Mobile customer care. Or one of a live example is Samco Security use case. If you look for Samco Security customer care, you will find a chat snippet. Click on the chat snippet, you'd be redirected to RBM messaging inbox, and you can go through the nice two-way communication journey that they have implemented on RCS messaging. Now, a quick caveat here is that we all know that RCS has been launched for iOS devices as well in certain countries, but in partnership with one of the operators, we've been able to explore the option of terminating RCS messages onto iOS devices as well. So for brands who are looking out to get connectivity and reach out to the premium customer segment as well, please feel free to get connected with us. Okay. We have spoken about the reach of RCS, and we know that the reach is currently reached to close to 60%. However, if we want to target the remaining 40% of our customer base as well, what Root Mobile can do in addition is basically we have a fallback mechanism enabled for channels like WhatsApp or channels like SMS. So you take connectivity with us, get onboarded onto different channels, and we'll be able to ensure that you're able to deliver messages across your customer base through all these channels. Spandan did also speak about how the end user can initiate a conversation with the brand, and something similar is something that we have done for Hyderabad Metro. If you go to Hyderabad, any of the stations in Hyderabad Metro, there's a QR code placed there. As an end user, what you're supposed to do is just scan the QR code, and it will take you to RCS inbox in case you're an RCS enabled user. Else it will follow you back to WhatsApp as a channel, and you can book your ticket within your messaging inbox itself. So that is also a kind of use case, you would be looking out as a retailer to ensure that, user interactions improve. Maybe a buying journey can be implemented within your chatbot flow, or maybe you can have your GenAI implemented over here, and you can utilize this particular capability for talking about different products and categories. Not only that, once in Hyderabad Metro, let's say what we've done is, if a QR code is generated, the ticket of QR code is generated, you can save it into a feature called as Google Wallet, where it is easy for you to just go on the Google Wallet application and open the QR code. And you can scan that particular QR code. So this is also one beautiful use case that in the retail industry, let's say if you want to trigger an invoice to a user, that invoice can then be saved by the end user in Google Wallets. And later, probably some years down the line, I would want to look at the invoice. I can just go on the Google Wallets and look for that particular invoice. So great way to save my invoices or other documents as well. Good outcomes that we've seen for Hyderabad Metro as well. And in addition to this, we have also implemented use cases for Canterville, where they wanted to shift their traffic from SMS because they were not seeing a lot of conversions when it comes to promotional messages or the traditional messages that they were sending onto SMS as a channel. What they have done is they've moved this traffic onto RCS, and they have beautiful buttons that they are embedding into each of the messages, and the users can start their messaging journey from RCS message inbox itself. Not only that, they are also targeting their end users using cart abandoned sort of use cases, or maybe post-journey sort of use cases onto RCS as a channel as well. So that are few use cases. Please do feel free to reach out to us. We have a booth just next to this room, and we'll be more than happy to connect with you. Thank you so much for your time.